Call of Duty: Black Ops: The Shadow War across generations. Within the vast Call of Duty multiverse, where each sub-series has its own chronology and protagonists, the Black Ops universe stands out as one of the densest and most ambitious, just as there is the Modern Warfare universe. With its contemporary and realistic plots, Black Ops builds its own narrative that spans more than a century of history, beginning in the Second World War and advancing to futuristic conflicts dominated by artificial intelligence. Across 8 main titles, the series blends historical facts, fictional characters and covert operations, creating a continuous thread of espionage, politics and technological evolution. While each game can be played independently, together they form a cohesive narrative arc marked by betrayals, hidden agendas, and the constant presence of operatives working in the shadows. The beginning in the trenches, 1942 to 1945 Call of Duty: World at War, 2008. The starting point of the Black Ops universe is found in the heat of the Second World War. World at War takes players to 2 brutal fronts: the bloody Pacific campaign against Imperial Japan, and the Soviet offensive towards Berlin. It is in this game that we meet Viktor Reznov, a charismatic and ruthless Soviet soldier whose presence would leave a lasting mark on the series. Although World at War does not carry Black Ops in its title, its dark tone, raw storytelling and key character make it an essential prologue to what followed. The Cold War in the Hidden Front, 1961 to 1968 Call of Duty: Black Ops, 2010. With the world divided between the USA and the USSR, war leaves the conventional battlefields and moves into covert operations. Protagonist Alex Mason is captured, tortured and brainwashed, becoming the unwitting carrier of codes that could activate chemical weapons on American soil. Between missions in Vietnam, infiltrations in Cuba, and incursions into the Soviet Union, Mason is haunted by distorted memories, with Reznov reappearing as an enigmatic figure. Alongside Frank Woods and Jason Hudson, the player navigates a spy thriller marked by paranoia and sudden twists. The missing link of the Cold War, 1981 to 1984 Call of Duty: Black Ops Cold War, 2020. Decades after the events of the first Black Ops, Mason, Woods and Hudson return to active duty to hunt down Perseus, a legendary agent with a plan to manipulate nuclear arsenals and tilt the global balance of power in favor of the Soviet Union. The story blends field operations in Afghanistan and infiltrations in Eastern Europe, with branching choices that influence the outcome. Cold War acts as a narrative bridge between the ideological tensions of the 1960s and the technological turn that would define the late 20th century. From the end of the Cold War to the digital age, 1986 to 1989 and 2025. Call of Duty: Black Ops 2, 2012, the plot is split between 2 time periods. In the 1980s, Mason and Woods face the rise of Raúl Menendez, a drug lord and terrorist building a global network of influence. In 2025, we follow David Mason, Alex's son, as he attempts to stop Menendez, now the leader of the Cordis Die movement, from igniting a cyber war. The story marks the transition from ideological conflict to technological warfare, introducing drones, automated armies and the manipulation of information as weapons. Between superpowers and new enemies, 1991 Call of Duty: Black Ops 6, 2025. Set during the Gulf War, Black Ops 6 follows Frank Woods, now a veteran, working alongside Troy Marshall to face the Pantheon, a paramilitary group with its own hidden agenda. The narrative explores a period of geopolitical transition, the fall of the Soviet Union, the rise of the USA as the sole superpower, and the emergence of decentralized threats where governments and private forces compete in the shadows. Warfare on the psychological front, 2035 Call of Duty: Black Ops 7, upcoming. Set in the near future, Black Ops 7 places David Mason in command of a new special unit to face an enemy that attacks not just with weapons, but with fear and information manipulation. In a hyper-connected world, where public perception is as important as military strength, war becomes as psychological as it is physical. The irreversible technological leap, 2043 to 2045 Call of Duty: Black Ops 4, 2018. Without a traditional campaign, Black Ops 4 delivers its story through special missions and in-game documents. Set in the 2040s, the game portrays a world dominated by cloning, advanced cybernetics and elite operations conducted by private forces. Despite lacking a linear plot, it remains an important chapter, showing how far military technology has advanced. The dystopian future, 2065 to 2070 Call of Duty: Black Ops 3, 2015. At the peak of cybernetic advancement, warfare has transformed into something almost unrecognizable. Soldiers possess neural implants that connect them directly to combat systems, while artificial intelligences develop agendas of their own. Amid environmental collapse and social unrest, Black Ops 3 questions the limits between man and machine, and how the control of technology has become the true battleground. A unique narrative within Call of Duty: the Black Ops universe is independent from other storylines such as Modern Warfare, yet equally ambitious. Where Modern Warfare focuses on the present and realistic conflicts, Black Ops expands its scope to past and future decades, exploring espionage, geopolitics, and the transformation of war. It is a saga that proves that from the trenches of the Second World War to the neural networks of 2070, the battlefield may change form, but the struggle for power, and the shadows in which it hides, remain constant.